Within my Saha world are Bodhisattva Mahasattvas equal in number to the grains of sand in 60,000 Ganges rivers, each of whom has followers equal in number to the grains of sand in 60,000 Ganges rivers. After my parinirvana, all of them will protect, read, and recite this sutra and teach it far and wide. Just as the Buddha said this, the lands of the Saha world, the Trichiliacosm, trembled and split open. Countless, tens of millions of kotis of Bodhisattva Mahasattvas all at once emerged. All of these Bodhisattvas possessed golden-hued bodies, endowed with the 32 hallmarks and limitless brilliance. They had all been dwelling in the space under the Saha world. On hearing the voice of Shakyamuni Buddha, these Bodhisattvas came up from below. Each of these Bodhisattvas was a leader who instructed and guided a great multitude, leading followers equal in number to the grains of sands in 60,000 Ganges rivers. Others had followers equal in number to the grains of sand in 50,000, 40,000, 30,000, 20,000, or 10,000 Ganges rivers. Still others had followers equal in number to the grains of sand in 1 Ganges river, or equal in number to 1/2, 1/4, and so on, down to 1 part in 10 million kotis of nayutas of the grains of sand in 1 Ganges river. Still others had followers numbering in the tens of millions of kotis of nayutas. Still others had followers numbering in the tens of thousands of kotis. Still others had followers numbering 10 million, 1 million, and so on, down to 10,000. Still others had 1,000, 100, and so on, down to 10. Still others had 5, 4, 3, or 2 disciples, down to 1 disciple. Still others came alone, delighting in the practice of living in solitude. Their numbers were countless and limitless, and so could not be determined by resorting to calculation or analogy. Having emerged from the earth, all the Bodhisattvas approached the wonderful stupa made of the 7 treasures suspended in space, where Tathagata Many Treasures and Shakyamuni Buddha were. Arriving there, they bowed with their heads at those 2 Buddhas' feet. They went on to where all the Buddhas were seated on lion thrones beneath jeweled trees, bowed to them, circumambulated them 3 times to the right with their palms joined together reverently, and praised them in various ways used by Bodhisattvas. Afterward, they withdrew to one side, gazing joyfully and respectfully at the 2 world-honored ones. From the time the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas first emerged from the earth, a period of 50 small eons elapsed, while they praised the Buddhas in various ways used by Bodhisattvas. During that period, Shakyamuni Buddha remained seated in silence, as did the fourfold assembly. By virtue of the Buddha's spiritual power, the great assembly thought that the period of 50 small eons was only half a day long. At that time, the fourfold assembly, also through the Buddha's spiritual power, saw all the Bodhisattvas filling up the space of countless billions of kotis of lands. Among this multitude of Bodhisattvas were 4 guiding teachers. The first was named Superior Conduct. The second was named Boundless Conduct. The third was named Pure Conduct. And the fourth was named Steadfast Conduct. These 4 Bodhisattvas were the foremost leaders who guided and taught the assembly. These countless, numberless asamkhayas of great Bodhisattva Mahasattvas who have emerged from the earth and whom you have never seen before are those whom I taught and guided in this Saha world after I attained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. I tempered their minds and inspired them to bring forth the resolve for Bodhi. All of these Bodhisattvas live in the space beneath the Saha world. They read, recite, and thoroughly understand all the sutras, ponder their meanings in detail, and are properly mindful of them. Ajita, these good men take no delight in being among crowds and engaging in too much talk. They always enjoy living in quiet places where they practice with diligence and vigor, never resting. They reside with neither people nor gods. They always delight in deep wisdom and encounter no hindrances. They also delight in the Dharma of all Buddhas. With single-minded vigor, they seek supreme wisdom. At that time, Maitreya Bodhisattva Mahasattva and countless bodhisattvas became doubtful and confused. Puzzling over this unprecedented occurrence, they thought, how could the world-honored one, in such a short span of time, have taught such countless, limitless asamkhayas of great bodhisattvas, leading them to abide in Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? Then they said to the Buddha, World-honored one, when you were a crown prince, you left the palace of the Shakya clan, and went to your site of awakening not far from the city of Gaya, where you attained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. From that time until today, only 40-some years have elapsed. World-honored one, how, in such a short span of time, could you have done such extensive Buddha work, using your mighty power and merit to teach these countless multitudes of great bodhisattvas so that they could realize Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi? World-honored one, if a person were to try to count these multitudes of great bodhisattvas throughout tens of millions of kotis of eons, he would never finish or determine their total number. For a very long time, in the presence of countless limitless Buddhas, they had been planting good roots in order to perfect the bodhisattva path, and they constantly cultivate pure conduct. World-honored one, a matter such as this is hard for the world to believe. It is as if a 25-year-old man with a fine complexion and shiny black hair pointed to men who were 100 years old and said, "These are my sons." Then the 100-year-old men pointed to the young man and said, "He is our father who begot and reared us." Such a thing would be difficult to believe. The Buddha is also like this. It has not been long, really, since he attained Bodhi. Nonetheless, these great multitudes of bodhisattvas throughout countless tens of millions of kotis of eons have already practiced with diligence and vigor in their quest for Buddhahood. They are all able to skillfully enter, emerge from, and abide in countless billions of kotis of samadhis. They have attained great spiritual powers and have long cultivated pure conduct. They are proficient at practicing all wholesome dharmas in proper order. They can skillfully ask questions and give answers. They are treasures among humankind, extremely rare in all the worlds. Yet just now, the world-honored one said that, after attaining Buddhahood, he inspired them to bring forth their first resolve. By teaching, instructing, and guiding them, he led them to strive for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. It has not been long since the world-honored one attained Buddhahood, so how has he been able to do these great meritorious deeds? We believe that the Buddha always teaches appropriately, that the Buddha's words are always true, and that the Buddha's understanding is complete, thorough, and penetrating. However, after the Buddha's parinirvana, if newly resolved bodhisattvas were to hear these words, they might not believe or accept them, and might thereby create offenses by disparaging the Dharma. That is why, world-honored one, we sincerely hope that you will explain this matter so as to dispel our doubts, and ensure that when good people hear of this in ages to come, they will not give rise to doubts either.